Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're hoping you can see us and hear us and that we're live for you. We'll wait till we see some more people come into the studio. It looks like we're at about 30 right now. So we'll just wait a few moments as people come into the studio. Okay, I'm looking and it is sort of hovering. Our number of viewers are hovering. So I'll go ahead and start and just welcome everyone to our 2021 Lilja Kindergarten Orientation for our incoming kindergartners and their families. We're really excited tonight to allow you to meet and hear from some of the people who will be part of your children's kindergarten experience, as well as your experiences as part of the Lilja community. So I'll go ahead and introduce everybody you see on the screen. My name is Stephanie Wasick, and I'm the proud principal of Lilja Elementary, and just so eager to meet you all and to welcome your children to Lilja and to kindergarten and to Natick Public Schools, and to partner with you on their behalf. We also tonight have Christy Inglesby, who is one of our administrative assistants at Lilja, and along with Peg Haswell, she is one of the people you'll reach when you call school and one of the first faces you'll see when you visit us at Lilja. We also have Kristen Nill, who is a parent of two Lilja Lions, a first grader and a third grader, and she is also president of our PTO. And finally, we have Liz Gregg, who is one of our incredible kindergarten teachers and also serves in various leadership roles in Natick, including as our PLC leader for kindergarten at Lilja. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and share our presentation. And presenters, I'll just ask you to turn your cameras off as well as your microphones until you present, and that'll hopefully just help the quality of our recording and our presentation. And I'm hoping you can see this presentation right now. So our team is here to support you. Again, I'm Stephanie Wasick, principal at Lilja Elementary. And other members of our leadership team include Courtney Simone, our school counselor, Barbara Nazer, our school nurse, and also Shelby Marsher, who is our school psychologist. Again, they are people that you will see over the course of your child's kindergarten year and beyond. This is our front office staff. So you just met Christy Inglesby, and along with Peg Haswell, they are the faces you'll see. Oh, you know what? I'm just hearing, Stop for a second. I'm just going to make sure people can see our presentation.
I couldn't see it a minute ago, Stephanie, but now I can.
Now you can. Okay, thank you so much. So I am going to go ahead and just start over a bit in terms of, again, our team here. Some people who you'll meet and just speak to often. Again, I'm Stephanie Wasick, principal. We have Courtney Simone, who is our school counselor. We also have Barbara Nazer, our school nurse, and Dr. Shelby Marsher, who is our school psychologist at Lilja. And our front office staff, you just met Christy Ingoldsby, and along with Peg Haswell, they are truly the faces of Lilja and help to keep our school running. They are the people you will talk to when you call about anything, and just they are a wealth of information and just endlessly helpful. So you'll get to meet them pretty quickly and regularly. Our kindergarten teachers are Mary Randolph, Lindsay Murphy, Elizabeth Gregg, who's here tonight, and also Allison Kuzinovich. And they are just such a dynamic team with many years of shared experience, nurturing and challenging our youngest students, and again, welcoming them into the Lilja community. Our specialist team includes Seppi Golestani, our art teacher, Tim Roper, our music teacher, Becky Moss, who's our library paraprofessional, and Gary DeMeo, who's our PE teacher. And they are just an incredible team of educators who work seamlessly together to share, art and music, library, PE, like I said, and also to connect to classroom curriculum. Lilja's mission that we live, breathe, and believe is to create a supportive, inclusive community that inspires everyone to be learners, to reach their full potential, and become respectful, empowered citizens. Our values include responsibility, respect, kindness, and engaged learning. In terms of general information, our start time in a typical school year is 8:20. That's when our doors open and we welcome students into school, and classes start at 8:30. Dismissals at 2:56 in the afternoon, and our early release days are at 12:15. It's important to note that tonight's presentation we've based very hopefully and eagerly on a more typical school year. So the information you have tonight, again, it looks a little bit different right now given our environment, but this presentation is based on what we hope will be a more typical fall. Included here is a link to Natick Public Schools calendar, and there you can find start dates, early release days, vacation days, and other information. Additional supports that we have available at Lilja include an ELL program for our English language learners, kindergarten intervention, special education services, PBIS and Open Circle, PBIS being positive behavioral interventions and supports, which is a tiered framework of problem solving, and also Open Circle, which is a proactive social emotional learning curriculum for elementary students. And finally, RTI, which stands for Response to Intervention, and that's a process used by educators to support students who are struggling and to help them succeed in the classroom through increasingly focused and targeted interventions as needed. For our English language learners, children who have a language other than English spoken in the home will be assessed for English proficiency. There is an interview form that will be emailed from Christy Arnold, who is the ELL coordinator for Lilja. Christy also works at Brown Elementary as also ELL coordinator and the assistant principal there. So you'll get that interview form that will be emailed from Christy Arnold. And then formal screenings will happen in the fall during the school day, and notification of English levels will be sent home in the fall. If you have any questions or want more information about our ELL program, you can contact Christy directly. Her email is here. It's carnold@natickps.org. And again, you can email her. Her email is also on the website. And if you have any questions or need more information, she will be your contact. Lilja School also has a highly professional and qualified faculty and staff who, like I said, just can't wait to meet our new Lions. We have just over 400 students enrolled, and we have a wonderful playground area. We are really thankful to have a lot of outdoor space around Lilja that includes that playground area. It includes that outdoor classroom and some town fields directly adjacent to our school. So we are really lucky to have a lot of outdoor space around us. We also have an early literacy and numeracy support model, as well as rich cultural arts programs and community partnerships. And finally, lots of opportunities for parents to become involved due to our really generous PTO. And at this time, I'd love for Kristen Nill to just share with you on behalf of PTO.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Stephanie. Apologize if there's background noise. I have neighbors mowing lawns like all around me. But anyway, yes, I'm here to just introduce the PTO, which is the parent-teacher organization at Lilja. And the PTO is really, it's a volunteer organization of parents whose goals are to enrich the education of our children, support the teachers and staff, and serve the Lilja community as a whole. So we do that through a lot of different events and engagement, activities throughout the year. And this past year, notwithstanding, we did have to get creative this year with some of our fundraising activities. But usually we host big literacy events, fun like team building events. And we do so to raise money, but also to have the kids like feel connected and to support the teachers in, whatever they might need for the classroom. So for example, we support on a typical year mini grants where the teachers can come and say, you know what, I have this project or this initiative that I'm looking for extra funding for. It includes recess equipment and books and, in some cases, some structural elements for the school. We also do book fairs where we put books into the classrooms, and we really encourage literacy amongst the students in the community. We have sort of fun little fundraisers, like little things along the way. We sell cupcakes, face masks, yearbooks, that kind of thing. And all of these are to raise money that ultimately gets put back into the school. So when you join in the fall, we have a communication method, and I apologize, it is another app. It's called Constella, and you sign up through Constella and you register your kids and what classes they are in. It's a way to really connect with the other parents outside of, school in particular. And, we connect with families through this, and we run a whole separate sort of schedule of events, picnics, dances, cultural enrichments, things like that at Lilja that we love for people to get involved in. And it's not all about, raising money for the school. A lot of things are just, for the love of Lilja and getting to know each other and being more of a community. So the PTO is comprised of, we have a board of directors. There's 5 of us. And then we open our, all community meetings for 6 times a year. And we really encourage parents to come, bring their ideas, get involved, hear about what we're doing, hear about the needs of the school, things that we plan to support. And, we can always use volunteers. In addition, of course, the room parents do a lot of the work too, and the teachers. But, our goal is really to go above and beyond for our kids and the teachers at Lilja through fundraising efforts and these special events. So we will send a letter home with, all of the kindergarten information about how to enroll in Constella, who we are, sort of, again, an overview of where our money goes, what our mission is, and encourage you to get involved. So. Sorry, that was my spiel. I didn't really follow the slides.
That's okay.
We also have a Facebook page. You can find us if you just search Facebook for Lilja PTO. You can subscribe to our Facebook page.
Thank you so much. And I just echo, we are so thankful for PTO and our families and the board, and just encourage families to get involved. It's a great way to meet other Lilja families and to have another sort of window into your child's kindergarten and school experience. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Christy Inglesby, and I'm one of the administrative assistants in the main office. I'm going to talk a little bit about communication and how we get the word out about what's going on at Lilja and different, news happenings that we want you to know. So every week, Dr. Nolan sends out an email that is called the NPS Engage, and that has all kinds of district information in it. And within that email, there's a link to each school's newsletter. So you scroll to the bottom of her newsletter and click on the Lilja Lion, and it brings you right to our current news section for our website. That's the best way to find out anything going on. Stephanie keeps you very updated with everything. Our website is probably the best place to find information. You can go to lilja.natickps.org, and also on the district website, you can sign up for that NPS Engage. You click into sign up for emails, and once you sign up for the district email, it will give you everything you need. The next thing is Pickup Patrol. So Pickup Patrol is our dismissal system. It tracks your child's dismissal routines and tells us exactly how your child will get home every day. It's used to report attendance, late arrivals, and any kind of dismissal change. We send you a link to sign up at the very beginning of the school year. And once you create your account, you will create a default plan for your student. That is how they will typically go home every day. That gets stored and sent to the teachers every day. If you have a plan change for that day, say they're usually a bus student and you're going to pick them up that day, you would just go in and do a daily plan change and switch their dismissal plan for that day. It's a great system, and it really keeps everything streamlined. So that's the best way to report any dismissal changes and also absences. And attendance. So attendance at school and timely arrival is very important to learning. In the event that your child is going to be absent, we do ask that you please put that into Pickup Patrol. We do also have an attendance line that Ms. Haswell checks every morning. That number can be found on our website, but we really encourage everyone to go through Pickup Patrol. We check that dashboard first thing in the morning to see, who's going to be absent that day. Our nurse has access to it, and all of the teachers do as well. We must hear from parents or guardians by 9 o'clock if a student's going to be absent. If we do not hear from you, you'll receive a automated call from the district system. And if we don't hear back from that call, we need to follow up on every absence. So it's really important that you get that into Pickup Patrol if there's going to be any absence of any kind.
Thank you. In terms of eating at Lilja, again, hopefully we're looking forward to a more typical year next year. And so in a typical year, breakfast is available to all students between 8 and 8:27. Next year, it's free for all students, regardless of any status or qualifications. That was true this year in all of Massachusetts, and it has been extended for next school year as well. So breakfast is from 8 to 8:27, and it is free and available to all students. For lunch, students are welcome to either bring lunch from home or to order lunch. Again, that is free as well to all students. And we have a nut-free table listed here, but it's actually an allergy-aware, allergy-safe table in the cafeteria. And then snack should be brought from home, and we ask that it is packed separately from students' lunch. As much as possible, if students could be independent in opening packages and, in using straws or utensils. Having said that, we obviously will have lots of staff around to help if needed, but we always encourage as much independence as possible. So snacks should be sent in, packed separately from lunch, and then classrooms are also allergy friendly as needed. So depending on any allergy needs within that classroom, we'll share out communication accordingly, whether snacks need to be nut-free or otherwise. We do ask if your child is going to be late and plans on ordering school lunch to please call Mrs. Haswell and let her know your child's lunch choice prior to 9 a.m. or to put it in pickup patrol at the start of the day under late arrivals. We do order lunches from the high school, and lunches orders are called in by 9 a.m. each morning. So if your child, again, is going to be late and plans on ordering lunch, if you could let us know prior to 9, that'll help make sure that they get their lunch that day. For the actual transition to kindergarten, we do have a modified start to school. This year it's on September 2nd and 3rd, and your child will either be assigned to Group A or Group B. So over the summer, you'll get a letter that shares your child's classroom assignment and whether they're in Group A or B. And this year, Group A will start school on Thursday, September 2nd, and then will not come on the 3rd. And if your child is in Group B, they'll start school on Friday, September 3rd, but will not come on the 2nd. And this year, then there's a little bit of an extended long weekend because Labor Day and Rosh Hashanah are back to back. So all students will come back to Lilja then on Wednesday, September 8th. So lots of your children probably just engaged in our virtual kindergarten screenings, but if any students still need a screening, they'll complete it in the fall during the school day. And it's a 20-minute general developmental screening. It includes language, fine motor, gross motor, self-help skills, social development, and cognition. And again, if your child needs that screening still, that will happen during school hours in the fall. And also, if you got a letter saying that a rescreen would be needed, it'll also occur at that time in the fall if needed. In terms of your child's first day of kindergarten, like we mentioned, it is a bit of a modified start to school for our youngest students. You'll get a letter over the summer with your child's classroom assignment and if they're in Group A or B. And Group A, like I said, will start Thursday, September 2nd. And Group B will start Friday, September 3rd. It's important to note there's no transportation for kindergarten on those first 2 days because it is a little bit of a modified schedule and start. So on those days, they would need to be car drop-offs or pickups or walkers. On those days, students will arrive at 9 a.m. and teachers will meet students in our main lobby. Parents are welcome to come in on that day and a little meet and greet, say goodbye to their students for a few hours, to their children for a few hours. And just know that on that day, we'll have lots of hands on deck to help with that transition. Our kindergarten team will be there as well as some staff across the building and support staff that are really used to helping our kindergartners with this milestone. So after arriving and some greeting of teachers and some big hugs, we will politely assure you that we'll get all the kindergartners to their classrooms safely. And we ask at that point that you hang back, give a big wave, and let teachers take over and transition kids to classrooms. And from there, you'll be invited into the Lilja Library for a parent coffee hosted by our PTO. Students will stay in classrooms. They'll stay at Lilja at 11:30 that day. They'll have lunch. At noon, they'll have recess. And then at 1 o'clock, parents are invited back to school. They should sign in at the main office and they'll be invited back into the classroom to help kindergartners close out the day together, and kindergartners will be dismissed at 1:30 to families. Some notes from Barbara Nazer, our school nurse. Please email any 5-year-old physicals to her at bnazer@natickps.org. Some immunizations, your child must have the following before the start of school to fulfill state requirements. You can see those listed there. In terms of attendance, as Mrs. Ingoldsby said, if your child is going to be absent, please note that in pickup patrol along with the reason for their absence. But also know that if you have any questions for the school nurse or something that she should be aware of for the day, you are always welcome to call her. Her number is listed there, and she is just phenomenal and wonderful in every way, and always happy to answer questions or certainly to hear any information that you think that she should know. Our medication policy is that all medications, including over-the-counter medications, must have both of the following: a physician's medication authorization form and signed parent permission. So again, we need that for all medications, including anything over the counter. And both of those forms can be found on Natick Public Schools website. For incoming student information, you have already shared some of this in your registration packet, and as we got to know some of your children through screening. But if there is something that you feel is really critical for us to know, or something, you know, sensitive that you want to make us aware of, you are welcome to contact Nurse Nazer. Again, her email is listed there, or our school counselor, Courtney Simone, at csimone@natickps.org. We do ask if there is something sensitive in nature or something you think critical above and beyond what's already been shared, to please reach out to them at your earliest convenience. A quick celebratory note is Counselor Simone is actually expecting a little one, so she will be on leave for the summer and at the start of the school year. But you'll note once her leave has begun, she'll have an auto reply on her email, and it will include who else to contact. I'll be there all summer long, so my email will likely be on there as well. But emailing her and then going through that auto reply will ensure that not only will the right person get the information over the summer or at the start of the school year, but also will ensure that that email will be with Mrs. Simone for when she returns to Lilja. Some additional information, important to note, transportation. You can sign up through our transportation services website that's listed there, and on Natick Public School site. And also, if you're looking for before or after school childcare, we do have programs housed in our schools. So at Lilja and other elementary schools, we have Early Risers and ASAP. Their email is listed there, and again, that's a before and after school program right at Lilja. And also there are some great options across Natick, including Tobin, Longfellow, and the YMCA, which all have buses that will come from Lilja. And finally, if you are looking to volunteer in any way, again, looking forward to hopefully a more typical school year next year, you will need to fill out a Corey form. And that is a record check that we require of all volunteers who are going to be alone with students. And that's just another way that we ensure that our students are safe at all times. It is a process that takes a little bit of time. So if you're interested in volunteering in any way, we encourage you to stop by the office to complete a Corey form, and we'll keep that on file if you wanted to chaperone any field trips or do any volunteering. And those Corey forms are good for, I believe, 1, if not 2 years. But it's a little bit of a process, so we want those on file before a time when you might volunteer at school. And now I get to turn the presentation over to probably the most exciting part, and the part that you're all looking forward to most, which is a day in the life of a Lilja Lion in kindergarten. And so Liz Gregg will go ahead and share that piece with all of you.
Hooray, it's the best part, everybody. This is what your kids will be doing every day at Lilja. We are so excited to welcome this new group to what is hopefully a more normal year. We all of us, I represent the entire team in saying that we adore this age group and live for it. There's nothing more exciting than kindergarten to all of us. So I'll walk you through what the day looks like. So we start off our day, the kids arrive a variety of ways, parent drop off, some walk, some take the bus, some are dropped off by car, but everybody comes all together and finds exactly where their things go. It's a lot of executive functioning that we're learning right there, right off the bat. And they are welcomed into the classroom. They know their routines. They love their routines. They choose their lunch for the day, so that we can send that lunch order wherever it needs to go, so the lunches will arrive in the right numbers. Any communications with teachers, we do our attendance, we do counting, and when everybody's there, we usually do some morning work, whatever that looks like in the classroom, to warm up for the day and get ready to learn. And we all begin our day with a morning meeting. And that morning meeting packs a powerful academic punch, but is also super fun. It might involve chants and stories and songs. It might involve a message. It will involve literacy. There will be math. There will be graphing. There will be all kinds of things jammed into that just one piece of the day to really get us all ready to learn and get us excited about the day ahead of us. We do learning blocks during the day. So within our reading workshop, it also encompasses our foundations program. So you will see, which is behind me. Here I am in my remote environment that I hope not to use next year. So this is foundations is a part of our phonics that goes with our reading program, and we will be doing focused phonics work along with some whole language and reading nonfiction, reading fiction, all of these exciting things that kindergartners are exploring in their first academic experience. We work with letters and sounds. We practice fluency and comprehension. There's lots of vocabulary. We learn about all the different letter combinations that are so fun in English to learn to read. And we practice in a variety of ways throughout Reader's Workshop. We also have a writing workshop block, and we tend to explore in these sort of 3 bands of writing. There's a narrative band, an opinion band, where you are going to get lots of letters with kids persuading you of all kinds of things, just so you're ready for it. We do a nonfiction writing. We do some poetry. There's all kinds of writing that will happen in writing workshop, leaning heavily on the skills we've learned in our reading workshop, using those phonics skills. The students will have lunch in the middle of the day, and some bring their lunch from home. Some like to order school lunch. I think it's great that next year's school lunch is going to be free for kids who are interested in that option. It's a great time to be social in a safe, structured environment. They also get outside at least 30 minutes a day. In the beginning of kindergarten, we tend to go outside a little more because we're still really wiggly. And at the end of the year, when we're wiggly, we do it again. So we really believe in a lot of fresh air. This year has taught us how important that can be. And the learning that we get right after recess is often better than sitting still for too long. Getting those bodies up and moving is really important for little ones. So we enjoy our beautiful playground. We've got some nice fields to roam free in. And it's a great time to practice those social skills that we're working on in the classroom. We do take some quiet time in kindergarten. This traditionally has been a rest time with mats, but we have these lovely mats now as of this year. So quiet time can mean anything from if you need to lay down and just breathe deeply for a while, play some music, that might happen, or you might be doing book looking on your own in a quiet way. It's often used as a transition in from recess to get our bodies from going a mile a minute to back to calm for the classroom. The children will go to specials every day. They will see the gym teacher, the art teacher, the music teacher, and our school librarian. They love going to specials. We have wonderful specialists at Lilja. Kindergarteners see them as their best friends outside the classroom, and we really enjoy our time exploring all these different learning venues. We do a fair amount of science in the classroom, and some of it ends up happening outside, which is lovely. Technology this year has been something kindergartners haven't used as much as this year. This year they've gotten a lot of experience, but it's also shown us what they're capable of. And so we've been incorporating more of an app in kindergarten called Seesaw, which connects home and school, which would be a great way for you to see what we're doing in the classroom. And we do a lot of social emotional learning throughout the day, but also with our program Open Circle, where we can learn some schools about, initiating play and having good conversations. And then we practice those skills both in the classroom and at the unstructured time of the day, like recess. We have been inviting families in as mystery readers to come join us at Lilja, and usually keep it a secret from your kiddo, and then you come, and it's so exciting to have you be there to read. This year that's been virtual, but it has been equally exciting for students to see their beloved families reading to them and to their classrooms. And then sadly, our day must end. We get to our dismissal time, and it's a lot of executive functioning to pack up those backpacks and zip up those coats. And then there are adults all over the school and big kids who help kindergartners get where they need to go safely. So the bus kids go where they need to go. The after school programs get where they need to go to get to parent walkers, to car pickup. It's a whole school effort, and everybody is always happy to see their big kids take them to where they're going next. And that's our kindergarten day.
Thank you, Liz. So at this point, we'd like to invite any questions you might have. I will go ahead and stop presenting in a moment. We do ask that, again, hopefully this presentation answered some of the questions you might have, but if you still have some wonderings, you're invited to put those into the chat. If there is something that you put into the chat that has been answered, if you could remove that. And also, as we're answering questions, if something that we've shared with another family answers you're wondering, if you could remove that, and that'll just help us be as efficient as possible. So I will go ahead and stop sharing, and okay, I believe I've stopped sharing my screen. So I'm going to just scroll up, and again, if there's something that is answered, if you could take that out. Let's see. I'm so glad you could see that presentation. So our first question is asking, it says the school admittance is at 8:20, but breakfast starts at 8. Yes. So in a typical year, breakfast starts a little bit earlier than the day to give students plenty of time to eat. And then classes will begin at 8:30. The next question is, where will there be ASAP on the first day of kindergarten? And it will not be on the first day of kindergarten, again, because we have a little bit different of a schedule on those first couple of days. Our typical dismissal is at 2:56, and on those first couple of days for kindergartners, dismissals at 1:30. So there will not be ASAP on the first day, but then it'll start for everybody on this year, it'll be the 8th. Oh, this is a great shout out, Kristen. Just that the PTO has been so fantastic and creative during a really difficult year. Thanks for all you've done to support the school community. And Katie, we could not agree more. We are so thankful for Kristen and the board and PTO and our families for just, you're right, being so creative and supportive and collaborative. So it's a great shout out to give. And also a good little, again, encouragement, like get involved, meet the board. It's a great way, at the very least, to meet other families. Christopher Nardone is asking, what is the phonics program? Liz, do you want to speak to
Over
that?
to me, seeing as I'm sitting right in front of it.
Yes.
So our program is, it's called Fundations. FUN is capitalized for the fun, and then dations is in foundation. So the idea is that it's the foundational pieces of literacy. So it's letters and sounds introduced, and initially we start with, there's a handwriting component. We start with lowercase, and then we move to uppercase. Most kids come in knowing uppercase, so lowercase is a little trickier. So that's why we start with it. There are pieces where we teach blends, we teach digraphs, we teach vowel teams, long and short vowels. It's all of those pieces combined in a fun and engaging way. There's puppets, there's a mama owl and a baby owl, and the kids echo, and there's chants and songs. It's pretty comprehensive. And it's also used throughout the grade, so they can refer back to it, especially, like, it's nice to know that kindergarten and first grade both are using the same chart. And so if they're forgetting a letter sound, then they refer back to it. It's what they also learned in kindergarten.
Thank you. So the next question is asking, Elizabeth is asking, will children and parents have the opportunity to visit school in person prior to the first day of school? So that's something that we're not entirely sure of, but it looks like that's probably not going to be the case this year. Our school year ends June 18th, but I can say that the kindergarten team, per the usual, has been super creative in how they can introduce what the building looks like prior to our kindergartners coming. So we're again thinking creatively on how to sort of show this is the door you come in, this is the hallway you go down, this is what a classroom might look like. So we will be prepared to help that transition if students are not able to visit beforehand. Ariana's asking, in order for a child to have breakfast at school, do they need to be dropped off by a parent, or is the bus okay? Mrs. Inglesby, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so the buses typically do get there early enough where the children who need to have breakfast can get off the bus and go in and have breakfast. Our doors don't open till 8:20. Kids can't go down to the classroom until 8:20, so they can only get off the bus if they're heading down to the cafeteria for breakfast. But they can take the bus and still get breakfast.
How many vacation days for kindergartners? So our approved calendar is linked to this presentation. And also if you visit Natick Public Schools website, it'll list the approved calendar and you can see when our vacations are. But typically, religious holidays here and there, federal holidays, and then a longer break in December, February, and April. Typically they have a week. So, but that calendar can be found on our website or on Natick's website. Will a lunch calendar be provided in advance so we know what will be offered and what's typically offered for breakfast? So yes, there is a menu that's published out each month that's available. And typical offerings, I know muffins, they have cereal, so sort of your standard breakfast fare. A question around teachers reaching out to kindergarten families over the summer to share what supplies they need. Liz, do you want to answer that?
Absolutely. Yes, we're actually hoping not only to reach out at the end of August with that information, but we'd like to actually send you all a video. This worked really well for us this year in the pandemic. And even though it will be a different scenario next year, parents and kids really loved getting these. So we basically will send you a video for you and that one for you or one for the child, welcoming you, showing you around the classroom. Maybe we'll do a read aloud, something that's pretty engaging. And the kids got really excited about that and felt so much better about coming to school, having even just seen the visual, especially since, as Stephanie mentioned, you won't be able to see it beforehand this year. So we're going to be sending that around, and there will be a list of required materials, but really there isn't that much that they need to start other than a water bottle and their snack. We used to ask for mats, and we won't be asking for that this year. So we'll definitely send that around at the end of August. Look for that in your inboxes.
Thank you. And do you want to take the next one as well? I can speak to, so in terms of the math program,
Yes.
We do use investigations, but I will let Mrs. Gregg speak specifically to what kindergarten math would look like.
Kindergarten math is awesome. So we use investigations, and it's very constructivist. It's extremely hands-on. You're not going to see a lot of math worksheets coming home. It's not a lot of skill and drill. It's more exploration of materials. So a lot of game playing where you roll a dice and you build a number, and then you roll a dice and you take some away and how many are left. So it's a lot of interaction. It's a lot of physical, hands-on, and a lot of manipulating materials to learn math concepts. That's base, and there's also usually a lot of partner work. So kids are getting to practice these skills together.
Thank you. That is the last question I see, but I'll give kind of a moment in case anybody has another question popping up. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody for coming and watching the presentation and listening. And thanks also to all of our presenters. I really can't emphasize enough how thankful we are for the team in front of us and the kindergarten team, office team, specials, everyone we mentioned, but also you all, our Lilja families. We're so thankful for you and your partnership, and just grateful for your trust. It's never lost on us that each day you send in your most precious gifts and entrust us with their care and their growth, and we're just always so thankful for that opportunity. And we're excited for to celebrate this next milestone with your family and to welcome your children into Lilja, and for a fantastic year ahead. We look forward to meeting you and seeing you in the coming weeks and months. So thank you.